What's up? What it do, baby? How you guys doing? Welcome to Alotta Hats podcast. I'm your girl, Christina Faith.
And I am Tiayrra Bradley.
Say it with your chest.
Dummy.
Say it with your chest.
A brilliant dummy.
A what?
Brilliant dummy. I definitely said my first name too.
You
I
did.
wasn't supposed to do that.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's all right.
And so, you have probably seen me somewhere on the intranets. If you haven't, I'm Christina Faith. That's my real name. It is not my last name. It is my middle name. And this is
Tiayrra Bradley again, aka a brilliant dummy, but you have not probably seen my face.
You've never seen her face, probably.
Or my voice.
Dude, the first time I met you, I didn't know what you was going to look like. And John was like, oh, this is Tiayrra. And I was like, a Tiayrra who? He's like, oh, brilliant dummy. I was like,
Yeah.
that's what she look like?
Right.
That's what she sound more so that's what she sound like.
I get that a lot, actually. So we met through Octavius.
I don't even know when we met.
Yeah, we met after we did his podcast, actually, right? 'Cause we were,
Okay,
like,
you
back
did
to
it
back,
too.
and
That was a good
then
podcast. Octavius,
it was. Shout out
you need to do
to
that again.
Bear Fruit. But yeah, beautiful struggle podcast. But so I think the first time he reached out to me, and then like we got on the phone, I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, he's like, this little person got on the phone like, hello, and I'm like, hi, it's a brilliant dummy. He was like, oh my gosh. So I get that a lot. People think I'm either a white man or Asian man.
Oh, because your aesthetic is not generally what you see from a black woman.
That's fine. I get in a lot of doors though because
Listen,
of it probably.
Let go.
So then when I get there, they're like, "Oh my God, you're black and you're a woman. We have a lot of money to give you." Like, so I don't know. But you know, it is what it is.
Nice.
Yeah.
So who is a brilliant dummy?
So
Where'd that come from?
So I went to school for math and computer science.
She's a genius, y'all.
Right.
Genius.
That was like my initial path of life, but I always loved art and just working things with my hands.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think my brother or one of my friends one day joking around was just like, yo, like you're a dumb idiot or it's something like a smart idiot or something. I don't know.
Okay. But why did they call you an idiot? Hold on.
I don't know. Cause I'm a like jokester and trickster. So I do like silly stuff, but, and I remember I found something on Chris Brown. I think he had a clothing line called Mechanical Dummy.
Oh, this is before the current one. Okay.
Yeah, he had something
This was
called
a long time
Mechanical
ago,
Dummy.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, that's right. And then something clicked with like them calling me like smart dummy or something. I was like, a brilliant dummy.
Nice. And what year was that? Around when was that?
That was like 2008.
Okay.
No, probably like 2007. Yeah, so I started using that 2007, and at that time I was just doing like websites and stuff. And it's like ventured from websites to graphic design. Then I started a clothing line. Then that's how I got into photography. Now I'm getting into film and set design. And
She out here, y'all. She made all this.
all
You know what I'm
types
saying?
of-
She made this.
we did the set, you know what I mean, out here. So I'm just blossoming and
Yeah.
evolving into a lot of hats.
A lot of hats. You do wear a lot of hats.
A lot of hats.
So so this is the first time the majority of the humanity that knows of you is seeing you. When did the desire not to be seen happen?
It's always been there. Like, I'm behind the camera, so I'm like, what's the point of me being on the other, you know what I mean, side? There was really no point. Things are changing, obviously. And I'm not even looking at the camera. I keep looking at you.
Well, you can look
looking
at,
the
you know,
camera.
we're talking to each other. We're really,
I'm just a private person in general. You know what I mean? So I'm never like, oh, see me. I'm like usually the last to show up and the first to leave. We going places.
Gotcha.
So I'm just like this invisible person. But I think over the years, it's like been such a thing of me like not seeing that I just like played into it even more. And I like it too because I kind of get to like meet people on my terms or get to know them on my terms, right? So like there's been times when I've been at events and like I'll meet somebody, I'll give them like my real name, no brilliant dummy nothing, and they're like, oh, okay, all right, and you know, kind of blow me off. And then like 5 minutes later, I guess somebody will tell them like, "Oh, that was a brilliant dummy," and then they like run, "Oh my God, you're like, I would love your work. I would
So
love
you
to
get
work
blown
with
off
you."
because they don't know who you are.
Yeah, people will blow me off.
They blow me off because they think I'm a child.
Why?
People really think I'm young. I'm much younger than what I
Yeah.
am. I've literally only had one person that was recently guessed my age, and the only reason she guessed my age was because of me speaking.
Oh wow, the wisdom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They think I'm like 22, 23. Thank you so much.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're not.
No, we're old. I'm getting up there.
No, we're gracious. Cool. Praise God.
I'm fine with being older.
You're with okay.
I'm 37 years old. I'm about to be 40 soon.
I never knew that.
Really?
That is the
See?
first time I knew that.
Yeah, I'm getting older. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm not as I just look young.
You are beautiful. Well, I didn't know that. Up
Yeah,
until this point. Wow. See, listen, it don't crack now.
Well, one of the things I was thinking about, guys, is that so we aren't like best friends, and so
Right.
a lot of the things that we're gonna talk about is we're learning about each other
We are.
while you guys are learning about us.
We are.
And so it's almost like an exploratory thing.
And healing and therapy and all of this is
trying
like
to
my
use me.
she's low key
I'm
been my
in
therapist
therapy.
for the last
She's
like
trying to use me. I'm in
3
therapy.
months. I will, I'll send her a PayPal invoice.
You
one
listen,
day,
I'll
or
take the
she needs to
money.
send me one. Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
Wow, I didn't know that. Yeah, that's amazing. I'm 32, so yeah, people think I'm like 12, especially because of my
12.
voice or a voice. They're like,
On the
"How you
phone,
12?"
definitely.
Yeah, I get like confused with my nieces
And my voice is
nephews.
high, so it's very weird to
Yeah.
hear somebody else with a higher voice than me.
I love it. We're definitely going to do voiceover one
Listen,
day.
we're available for hire.
Yes, we will
Listen,
make
if you
bomb
like these
cartoons.
voices,
Okay,
We are available for hire.
You have anything else so brilliant?
I think that's it. We're first episode, so we're gonna be exploring a lot.
Yeah.
Down. So yeah.
We have very different views on some things. She's definitely a conspiracy theorist, so I'm excited. I think like UFOs and 5G was on the list. I'm excited to kind of like I get it. Like I'm kind of there, but I'm also kind of like,
Listen. I think we all are to some degree. If you're a Christian, you're definitely a conspiracy theorist.
somewhere. Well,
Because-
depends on what kind of Christian, but that's a whole nother. we'll talk about that in the coming weeks.
Amen.
Yeah.
I'm a sip to that.
First of all, it's water in that cup.
It is
Sip
no
to that.
libations. No libations delight. But I was like, "Woo, child! I'm gonna get in front of this camera, but this feels
Well,
good."
we're here. We out here.
Yes.
Um,
So tell us, who is Christina Faith?
Well, Christina Faith is kind of like in flux right now because Christina Faith is going through some really, okay. So Christina Faith is a writer, producer, director. That's the multi-hyphen that I give myself. However, I'm also a teacher, an executive director, a wife, a friend, a daughter, a sister, whatever I need to be at that moment in
Theologian.
time.
Don't forget the seminary degree. Yeah.
That's what they say. And so, I believe every Christian is a theologian now. Whether or not you have right theology or not is something
That's
completely
true.
different.
That's true.
And so my journey into creativity, I kind of attribute it to like around 5 or 6 years old. I remember writing my first song when I was like 5. So all my life I wanted to be an artist. I became an artist. And as I became an artist and I started to record myself and other friends, we needed to make music videos because this was around the same time, like 2006, 2005. And nobody it cost too much to record, and I was paying hundreds of dollars in studio time, and I wasn't even that good yet. So it was like, this ain't even like worth it yet. I was getting like my Johns to make me CD covers
Silly
and stuff
plug.
like that, and websites and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so I realized very early on I had to be self-sufficient because it was going to cost too much. And so as a creative, I picked up a camera. Somebody was like, "Oh, I see you with a camera." Well, actually, kind of like as a creative, it more so started from the music production side. I bought a Mac in 2006. I used my tax returns. First year out of college. And so I bought a Mac. I got Logic. I learned Logic. But then we needed to shoot a music video for an artist that was on a label I created. And so we went out and I bought a camera. And then I learned Final Cut.
Wow.
And it turned out to be like a really good music video that people who were in the industry hit me up and was like, "Yo, your angles were crazy." I was very unconventional. And so as an artist, I've always been very unconventional. I don't care about what's the standard is, right? Okay, well, how can we do it and how can we make it get done? And so from that very early time, like that's who I became. Wow. And along the lines, I got married. I married a creative, very interesting life. Awesome, being married to a person you work with, but kind of work with, but don't really work with. And then along the line, me and my friends started creating together. So, yeah, Christina Faith is, whatever she needs to be in the moment.
That's awesome. Which is self-taught. So we both are self-taught artists.
Yeah, like I tell people, like I got my MFA from Google and my bachelor's from YouTube. Now I have a bachelor's and a master's, but as far as like the things that I'm actually making money from,
right? I
got my MFA from Google online. And my bachelor's from YouTube. Like I Google everything. Like I don't like it was like Facts. We don't know what. Let me look it up. Like Facts. that's just how I've been. And it's been good and bad because like if you don't know the rules, you break them immediately. Right. And so when you're schooled, they say know the rules and break them. So I don't know the rules, so I'm just gonna break them anyway.
Right.
And so like that comes with like ups and downs, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and also like drives people crazy sometimes. But when they see it, it's like, oh, that did make sense. Right. And so yeah, like Christina Faith is my tagline is redefining the image of a Christian. I've always been one to, when most people discover that I'm a Christian. I'm very open about my faith, right? But most people discover that I'm a Christian, and they're always like, well, oh, like you're not like the ones that I thought. And so that's like really important to me. Right. So yeah.
Awesome. That's what's up. I think we do have a lot in common, and we're gonna find out.
More so what's good with you? So there's gonna be a segment we're gonna do every week.
Yes.
What's good with you? Where are you right now? Being honest and open with the people.
I am. Man, so this week, this month, this year, I've just been like, I said it the other day on my Twitter, like stuck between like grief and hope, right?
I saw that. That was really good. Yeah. I was like, man, that's me right now.
That's a lot of us, yeah. And even before like COVID, I was already like just kind of out of it and going through a season of changes. Like I had just moved to LA. It's almost been 2 years, but I'm not even there now. Don't know when I'm going back. So it's just a lot of changes. So I was already kind of just like in a wilderness place. So when COVID happened, I was just like, oh, I wasn't doing nothing anyway. So, I don't got to pay rent no more right now. It was actually a blessing that things stopped. I'm not. They got
so y'all have a whole
moratorium.
So y'all got to pay that back rent though? What's that?
Nah, so I was living with
Cali
my brother.
was doing the thing.
Yeah. And whatever they got going on, they like covered up a certain amount of the rent, and it's been.
Yo, I definitely would have went back to Cali.
I would. I was going to, and then the riots happened, and fires is going on. So
the fire portion. Is your apartment close to the fires?
We are. We're like typically like in Ventura County, which is like 15 minutes. So we'll actually like smell the smoke and see the fire. I think, last year when I first like got out there, I'm like getting ready to go to the store. So I smell smoke, and I'm like, I ain't cooking nothing in the kitchen. So I'm like, I go out the house, I check, and I just go to the front porch, and it's just like foggy. And in LA, you don't know if it's fire smoke
or if it's
smog or weed. Right? Like, it could be like reefer in the air.
It's reefer everywhere in Cali.
So I'm like, my brother, he was out of town, and I'm like calling one of my friends that I know like live close to me. I'm like, yo, do we have to be evacuated? Like, I got a Pennsylvania number. I don't like, would I get that alert? He's like, no, we're fine. Not that I know of. So I'm like driving to the store, and it's just like,
how did that feel?
It was so weird. And the sun was like red. People was like walking around with masks, and I'm just like, this is crazy. Then my mom's calling me like, you need to get here. They're going to put you in FEMA camp and stuff. And I'm like,
FEMA camp?
Right,
Mom. She knew before you knew.
I got one of them moms. So I'm like, Mom, like, calm down. I'm fine. But yeah, it was interesting. So, it's not the best, but I mean, their sunsets are really cool. So,
Listen, I went to Cali for the first time, and we got into a film festival in 2018, and baby, I fell in love. Oh my God. And I fell in turmoil in my marriage because I fell in love. Because I was like, we can go. You the problem. And so he was like, see, that's the problem. And so it's not a place that he wants to live. And so I can't get him to move to Cali or Atlanta unless that bag is really there. But I get it. Like, it's the allure. My husband is very much like, I don't want anything to do with that allure. Yeah. Like, I want to be as normal as possible. Yeah. But I was there and I was like, I see why the movies is so like bright and airy and like why everybody shoots here. But then I started looking up stuff on Zillow and I was like, yeah, no, Philly is amazing. Philly is great. Prices, though. Like, do you see them prices?
Listen, everything.
I saw a 600 square feet apartment. That ain't even an apartment. That's a room and a bathroom for like $2,500, and that was low.
Everything, like, you gotta pay for shopping bags.
I know. I was pissed. I was in the Target, I be in there
stuff like, nah, I got it. I don't need no bag. Like,
and then they're not cheap. They're good bags, but they're not cheap.
They're not. So I save them, and I will take the bags that I already have to the store.
Well, you should do that anyway.
You should, but it's costly.
Climate.
It is a different just spirit with the people.
It is very different. I will. Yeah. It was very weird that everybody was nice. Because you don't know who
Where was you at?
We used Propaganda album, and we traveled the entire, like, we were in places that we probably shouldn't have been.
Okay. Like, you were in Southern Cali or, like, San Diego or
Southern.
Outskirts? Okay. Yeah, I mean.
Because nobody knows who anyone is, so I was kind of, like, attributing it to that.
Right.
Like, you don't know who you're talking to, so everybody was nice. It was really weird.
Yeah, I mean, like, from what I've picked up, when you're in, like, Hollywood and that area, it's a different feel than being in, like, Long Beach or stuff like that. The outskirts, people are regular, they're normal.
Yeah, not
you go in the clusters, it's like, you know, oh, what do you do? Like, they don't ask your name
No,
out there.
What do you
it's
do?
Just like, what do you do? What are you here for?
That was annoying.
Yeah, so I'm like,
I'm minding my business. Yeah. Can I help you?
But, you know, it's interesting. It's an interesting place, I will say that.
Do you want to go back?
Where?
To Cali.
Oh, I just thought, I'm like,
where were you before? Hold on.
Where do I want to go back? Part of me does.
Okay.
I had just started getting used to it.
Got you.
And it's like every time I started to, like, get used to Cali, like, something would happen that would just knock me completely back.
Okay.
But at the same time, like, there's still a part of me in Philly that just, like, wants to be here or feels like I need to be here.
You come alive more in Philly or in Cali?
I don't come alive nowhere. Like, no place feels home to me no more.
Oh, so you ain't found a place yet?
No.
You like Jesus. You have no place to lay your head.
I don't. I am a wanderer. I am a nomad. It's like.
But you live with people in each places.
I do.
So I wonder if that happened.
I do.
Sorry.
I wasn't necessarily.
Now I'm asking more questions.
Yeah, I wasn't necessarily in LA, even though my brother lived out there. Like, he's never there the same time I was. So practically,
you lived alone?
I was by myself. And I had friends out there. So by the time I actually did start going outside, like, I had people to hang with, but it was a weird space, right? Because you're going out, and I didn't really, like, my intentions of going out there wasn't like, oh, like, I want to, like, obviously I wanted to do things in my career, but that wasn't the leading. I just felt the Lord leading me out there.
Got you.
And so when I did get out there, kind of like that first year out there, I just rested. You know, I learned a lot just about Sabbath and stopping. And in some cases, like, things would happen where I've, like, literally physically had to stop. Like, I got hit by a car at one point. Like, it was just a lot going on, a lot of warfare. And so when I finally, like, stopped fighting, you know, the Lord, and was just like, yo, like, why'd you bring me out here? And it was kind of just like, he was just like, to rest, to stop. And I'm like,
here of all places,
right? Why would you bring me to Los Angeles, California?
No, because I felt very rested when I was there.
You can.
I felt very rested.
Yeah. And especially in a space that is so go.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? Go to this
The city is very, yeah. The city is very different.
It's so much pressure in that. And, you know, so for him to take me to a place like that and then say stop was like the opposite of what you would think. And so it took me some time to, like, okay, stop. You know what I mean? Adjust, rest. You know, it just took time to just stop and figure it out. And you know, COVID kind of threw some plans. Although I had already like kind of planned on moving back east, because still a lot of like my clients are based here. You know what I mean? So it was never like a money or opportunity thing. But you know, we'll see. I don't know where I'll end up next, but
I don't know where I'm going, but I know I'm
living
going
in the
somewhere.
moment. Right, I'm going somewhere.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna be led somewhere. So we'll see.
Okay,
We'll
cool.
see.
Um,
Where are you at? That was a lot of where I was at.
no, that was good. I am in one of the toughest seasons of my life. And not because of COVID. I really wish it was because of COVID. When COVID started, it felt very weird because I was not in a bad place. Right? We had just moved. We just bought the house. We were fine. We were comfortable. Like, money was flowing. You know, it was the first time during COVID was the first time. This year has been the first time we've ever had excess in the time we've been married. And I ain't had excess since 2005. Right. And so it was very weird to kind of like, oh, it's my birthday. COVID hit on my birthday. Like, we went into lockdown on March 16th. My birthday is March 17th. Wow. So before everybody came up with the drive-bys and stuff like that, me and my friend, we went and ordered some food, and I came home. We went and did the bakery run. Right. I came home and I chilled and I enjoyed my birthday. Right. And so that was kind of trash because it was the first time that I was actually going to enjoy my birthday. Like, this was the first year that I planned on enjoying my summer, going somewhere, doing something for my birthday. Like, I don't do those things. Right. And so this was the year that I was like, you know what? We just shot a movie. We've been shooting the last 4 years. Yes. I'm going to enjoy this summer. I'm going to do my thing. Where we going? And then COVID hit. And then I was still like, you know, it's all right. And so I kind of like eased my way out. And then my mother got sick. And then we got the home invasion. And being the home invasion kind of like set it off. Like, I knew that because we just really wanted. So if you,
right, so okay, I gotta tell you about it. Tell them what happened.
So it's crazy. We still in the midst of it because we still have to figure out what we're doing about Airbnb. So me and my homegirls, it was 7 of. Hold on, let me see. How many was it? 7 of us. We decided, hey, we can't go away, so let's just go like to Atlantic City. Well, we wanted to go to Cape May or something. Let's go to like Cape May, rent an Airbnb, and just chill at the house. Like, get takeout and come in the house, go to the beach. Those are safe things that we could do. And so we couldn't find. We tried to get this Cape May one. We kind of slept on it. We missed it. And then the only thing available was this one Atlantic City joint, and it looked great. Like, it was bright. I was like, okay, it's a couple blocks from my aunt's house. Right. Like, I was born in Atlantic City. My mom lives in Atlantic City. It's a little, sketchy in some places, but we be all right, nigga. We got there, and when we got there, everyone felt weird, but no one said anything. Like, I got there, I got out the car and said, I need to start carrying my gun. Like, that was my first initial reaction. And so when we're there, we order pizza, we're chilling, we playing it the next day. And I kept looking at the door, and the door was locked. And I hadn't tried like the security thing or anything like that, but I just kept looking at the door. So I went to sleep. And we got the pizza. The pizza was okay. I had a glass of wine, and I drank E&J for the first time. Never again. And I didn't drink a lot. And I was like, my homegirls had it, and I was like, I'm bougie. I'm bougie about everything, y'all. Y'all discover that. Like, I like high quality brand
I go
things.
to the bottom. If
yeah,
it's 5 and
E&J is
below,
at the bottom, right? I do 5 and below, but
I don't do nothing.
Cheap liquor is cheap liquor. And so I only had 2 drinks. All right, cool. So I go to sleep, right? Because I'm old. I've been old all my life. So I go to sleep. So I get into bed. My iPad is in the living room, and my phone is like somewhere in the room. And so, cool. I don't need it. So I go to sleep. Around 3:56 or something like that. I wake up. It's hot. It's not unusual for me to wake up, but I just didn't feel right. And so I went to the bathroom. I got a glass of water. I turned the air up. I got back in the bed. I picked up my iPad as well as my iPhone and my AirPods because I was going to watch something. I know my best friend, I needed my AirPods because it's going to wake her up. And so she gets up and she does the same thing. She goes to the bathroom. She gets a drink of water. She sits down. Next thing you know, niggas is in the room. I have never, like, in my lifetime, felt terror the way that I felt it. And so it was a crazy situation. We didn't get physically harmed. Emotionally, probably scarred for life. But that kind of like, and that happened on the 6th of August. Right. And that created like this anxiety and this fear that I've never experienced before. Like in all of my trauma in my life, that took the top cake. Wow. Right? And I think also because a lot of trauma in my life happened when I was younger. When you're younger, you process trauma a little bit different. You kind of like keep going. Child, I couldn't keep going. Right. Like I kept going.
They had weapons too.
They had guns and knives.
Weapons, right.
And they was ready to shoot and kill. Like if there wasn't. It wasn't the way that they walked in the room just felt like they'd been there before. Right. And we heard nothing. We were up. They came in the room like less than 30 seconds after she got into bed. Right. And so like that terror and that fear of that home invasion like sprung something else. Like during COVID, the whole time I was like, oh, I need to figure out some other devotional things because, you don't have the things that you normally have. You don't have church, right? Mm-hmm. You have church, like you have the body of Christ. I'm still around believers in my small cluster, but you don't have the gathering. Right. And so I don't have the worship. I'm a worship person. Like I'm a hallelujah, right? And so those things were ripped from me. And so being ripped from me because of COVID and then the home invasion led me to like, all right, Jesus, what's up? Right. Because this is crazy. And so I had that, but then my mother has been like progressively getting sick. My mother's been in the hospital like 10 times over the last 9 months. Mm. And so dealing with that and then her not, she old and she don't want nobody to help her. And so that and then the therapy and walking through my own trauma throughout my life. And I'm like, dang, I'm jacked up. It's okay. Jesus loves me. Mm-hmm. And so how am I? This has probably been one of the harder weeks, right? Yeah. The last 2 weeks have probably been the harder weeks. Like I thought that after the invasion, like that was hard. Right. The last 2 weeks have been like, I thought we was over this point in my life. Yeah. And so it's been really hard, but at the same time, like the grief in the midst of hope is kind of like, I'm in the same exact place. Yeah. Like I have hope. I'm not here and I don't feel alone. Like I know God is with me. I don't feel like this is the end, but I know that this is a very pivotal place that I have to pivot. Right. And so like I've discovered mindfulness, Christian mindfulness. I've just rediscovered just different ways of praying, contemplative prayer, centering prayer, and just really taking time with the sacred word and the sacred text, being able to understand who God is without having to use a lot of words. And so, yeah, but also like, it's also a great time. Like our film, Love You Right. If you don't know, yes, Love You Right, our R&B type musical is
which
getting
has
distribution.
An incredible score. I just want to put that out there.
Christopher
I
Stevens
heard
on
the
score
and thank you.
You're welcome. It has a jazz score.
Yes.
So,
yes.
So we're like literally that day that the invasion happened, we sent out 400 emails the night before and we started getting replies back, right, for distribution. Also, that day I became the executive director at my job. And so I knew that, okay, this is definitely the enemy. Like it wasn't even a question. Like this is something about to blow. Like, so I'm excited because I don't know what this podcast is going to do, but I know
don't you hate that though? You're like, man, why the blessings and the pivot got to come with the warfare now?
So trauma and struggle and blessings always come together, right? But I think that's what God does. I don't think God does the struggle. Like God is not the author of our struggle, right? Humanity and sinful nature is the author of our struggle. And so it's not something we can like skip around. But at the same time, though I hate it in the midst of it, it makes me a better person. And it makes me more like him. It makes me reflect his glory. And so I think just in general, it's been really cool to see God move in the midst of tragedy, right? That place of neither death nor life, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come will separate me from the love of God. Like I can separate myself internally, however, nothing can separate me, right? And so that's a place that I'm trying to live. I'm like, all right, so God, what have you redeemed? All right, you got some Christian yoga folks. All right, let me get some. And so if you are a person that thinks that any type of yoga is unbiblical and is demonic, you might want to log off because I'll probably be talking about mindfulness and yoga from the biblical perspective for the next years, right?
That's going to be interesting.
Huh?
That's going to be interesting to learn about.
Well, yeah, no, I think so. I'm also so if God is the creator of all things, Satan is the perverter, right? And so if we immediately say that something is perverted and God can't use it, who is God? right? And if God can't redeem something, then he is not God. And so that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day.
That's a whole nother episode.
That's a whole nother episode. And so, okay, as we transition, right? Because we're going to be like DJ Envy,
Okay.
right? Because DJ Envy transition all the time.
You're the transitioner.
Yeah, so for me, okay, so when I don't even know how did this start? We just were having like a conversation.
I know exactly how this podcast starts.
Tell us.
I was watching, I think, season 8 or 9.
Yes.
Of Married at First Sight. Okay. It was on Netflix. And I am never like just a binge watcher person. Like, it takes me literally like 4 days to watch a movie. So anyway, I started just watching this on Netflix, and there was one particular couple. So I don't know if you're familiar with this show, like these complete strangers, they interview them and vet them out, and then they pair you with like a spouse that they think you'll match with, and you don't meet this person until like your actual wedding day. Like you meet them at the altar for the first time. Families meet. So this one couple they paired together. It was Iris and Keith, I believe, and so her storyline, she was a virgin. He was not. They played it like obviously she was a spiritual girl, she was a Christian. They played like he was a spiritual guy, but I don't think so.
Okay.
And I don't know.
He had no fruit.
I don't want to say.
I couldn't see the fruit.
So they paired them together, and obviously, so from the gate it was like a little drama because his mom at the wedding like noticed she had a white dress on, so she asked her like, "Oh, like, I know the significance of like wearing a white dress means like, you know, a signs for purity and virginity." And so she told the mother like, "Yes, you know, I'm a virgin. I've been waiting for marriage," or whatever. So then the mom goes back and tells him, right?
Hold on 1 second. I can see it filming unless you just want to check. Oh, okay. The mom.
Right. So the mom goes back and tells him, right, at the reception. So now he's walking it around, like, playing it off like he doesn't know. And so then, obviously, later on, they end up talking, and she tells him, right? So all of a sudden, he's like, oh, obviously, it was an issue for him. And I don't want to give the season away if you're going to go watch it, but it's, like, a main staple. So, like, I get on my IG story, because I'm just like, what? Like, bruh, like what's the deal? And I was so passionate about it because like part of that is my story too. Like, you know what I mean? Still a virgin, still waiting for marriage, still trying to walk out purity to the best of my ability.
Lord,
in 2020 in North America. And so I'm just like posting and like, yo, what's good? Like, you know, basically I posed the question of like, you know, how many men, you know, would you want your significant other to be with until they get to you or train them? Like, you know what I mean? And what man would rather another man like teach his woman, his wife, like how to please him, right? I don't get that. Because I've had guys tell me like, yo, like, oh, you too clean. You know what I mean? Like, I can't.
I've had that.
And I'm like, huh? So anyway, I put it out on my IG story. And interesting enough, like a lot of guys inbox me back like, yo, like I'm actually a virgin and girls won't date me because of that, because I'm still a virgin. I'm like, wow. And I think that's something too we don't really consider, like men's struggle and their, you know, the other side of it. Because even
or
when
celibacy,
you think, when you think of virginity, you think of women, and part of that is like purity culture and just what is
that's
placed
Americanization.
on women, and
Western
so I think
colonization.
we don't, you know, consider like men's story and their journey too, and honoring in their selves. And so you inboxed me too, like, girl, like Christina, she's so ratchet too, especially in the DM. She's like, but that was part of your story too, of like going, you know what I mean? Like
how I ended up a virgin is the grace of God, because I did everything not to be a virgin. Let me tell you, I be looking back and I be like, God had his hand on my punani because I tried to give it away. I couldn't give it away. They was like, "Oh, you a virgin?" Yeah,
get raw and uncut. Yeah.
So yeah,
it's tough, and so. But that was a common like thread, and I was like,
Yeah.
yo, we need to talk about this.
So
We
she
might
wanted
need
to talk
start a
about
podcast.
sex and relationships.
Yeah,
And I was like, I
yeah.
can't do that. I done made Single and Anxious the book and the show. We
Right,
gotta
she
talk
texted
about
me
something
like
else.
3 days later, like, we got way more to talk about than
I
just relationship. I'm like, you right.
I can give y'all a couple episodes.
Yeah,
I wrote a whole book about it. It's called Single Anxious, Discovering True Contentment Through Jesus Christ.
Go
Through
cop
devotion to Jesus Christ. It's the most simple book in the world. Go read that.
Yes.
I can't give y'all a whole relationship podcast.
Yeah.
Bless the Lord for all those who can.
But yeah, and I think we do have a lot of just insight and wisdom on so many other
Yeah,
things. And so that's where a lot of hats came from. We will be discussing a lot of topics from the arts to relationships to faith to culture
To conspiracy
to
theories.
conspiracy theories. You know, and lots of other things. As we, you know, journey through our own experiences as creatives and women.
Lord, to be a woman
world.
in 20, to be a
Child, to black Christian woman.
Oh,
a triple minority.
Yes.
Yes.
As soon as you say Christian, people automatically think you crazy.
To be a black Christian woman in
Yeah.
America. So yeah, that is how we started and where we're gonna, you know, take this thing and just explore this journey of
Gang,
a lot
gang.
of hats. A lot of hats.
So what you listen to right now?
What am I
Child, she
listening
be up
to?
in here listening to.
She was like, "Who put this meditative
Meditation
music on?"
music.
I was preparing for your yoga.
Oh gosh.
I will tell you who I am listening to. Kenneth Whalum.
You always listen. Give me somebody who you ain't gonna talk about every podcast.
Listen, he's the first I was going to say. I have been actually in this album for the last
How long the album?
year.
I was about to say
2
album a
years.
year
It's
or
been
2
out
years.
for a minute,
And she been on the album since.
I
so
discovered it like a year ago.
Y'all not gonna get much new stuff from Tiayrra.
Oh, you are. I'm always.
Okay,
I'm
give
a
us the
music
new. Okay,
junkie.
give me your
So
repeat.
the new. I'm listening to Giveon, World We Created. That's something that I discovered like this week, and it's got me feeling like summertime love, and
It can make you a little depressed too at the same time, but I love it.
It does.
I discovered him from Issa Rae. She posted him.
Oh, okay.
She posted him like 6 months ago, and I
Yeah.
was like, Issa be up on them artists.
Her music is
Yeah.
good for Insecure. I will say that.
She be up on them artists.
Yeah, he's amazing. I started listening to the album. The album is good. World We Created, Giveon.
It's an album or EP?
It's a whole album.
Hold on.
I forget the name
Do I
of
got
it.
the album? Let me look. Okay.
Yeah, I forget the
I'ma
name
look.
of it, but yeah, it's a whole album.
Giveon.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Giveon.
he has such a unique voice.
He
too,
does. I was
that
like, is
just
this real?
Yeah, he talks like that too. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, Black
That's
man.
I checked. I went on IG and I was like, so
Right.
yeah,
So,
nice.
so who are you listening to?
Oh man, so I am I ruin new music for people because I'm always up on new music a long time before people are. I
Don't say it.
First of all, I was on Lecrae Restoration album for a very long time
I
because
knew
it
you
was
was
so
gonna say that.
restorative to my soul. And she hating on my Christian brother.
No, listen.
Say something.
I
Don't disrespect Cray. He been out here
right.
for years.
That's the thing. I have not listened to enough Lecrae music to say whether I
You
like
ain't
him or
been
not.
right with my top down. You wasn't.
I see. I'm
All
not
right,
a rap
stop.
person though.
Okay, stop.
I'm not a rap person.
All right, let me give you something that's not rap
so-
then. All right, so I've been listening to Monica Trenches. We did the Monica and Brandy.
Okay.
Gang.
Okay.
I really enjoyed that. What else am I listening to? I am listening to PJ Morton's Gospel According to PJ is amazing.
Okay. I haven't.
And
I do like
J
PJ.
Moss is the GOAT.
J Moss still making music?
Yo, he brought J Moss back. Well, J Moss been making. He ain't never stopped making music, but he did a song with J Moss that just it
You
brought
know-
water to my soul. Jasmine Guy. Jasmine Guy ain't made no music since 1994.
She dropped the
Jasmine
EP.
Sullivan lost one.
Okay.
Karen Hawthorne, her album I Am. Man, listen.
Oh wow. Who? I don't
It's
know
hard
these
for
people.
you see. It's hard for someone who did like a music show, a talent music show, to have a follow-up album that's better than the first.
Okay.
She went and got Troy Taylor. She went and got DJ Camper. She went and got Natalie Lauren. And she just did a really good second album.
Okay.
And Natalie Lauren, like that album is so restorative.
Yeah.
And so,
love her voice,
Good
yeah.
Morning is amazing. I'm
Yeah.
seeing trailing with somebody for years and seeing how they're developing their lane and their craft.
Right.
That Good Morning song, I literally have listened to that every single morning since it
She's
came
a
out.
writer, right?
She's an artist turned writer turned artist again.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's kind of like what I'm vibing to. We'll always have something brand new for y'all. Hat trick. Share one fly thing you discovered this week. Should we just, I'm not gonna say that yet because we try and get that sponsorship. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, we are.
One fly thing that I discovered this week. Oh man, it was so many good stuff. So many good things.
I'm gonna have to think about this one.
Yeah, hold on. So me and my husband and one of my best friends, we have a text where we share it's the culture text. We share new stuff every week.
Okay.
And so one fly thing that I discovered. Okay, the Off-White Nikes are about to come out. I don't know if I'm gonna get those.
Okay.
But yeah, those are dope. Those are dope. I don't know if I'm getting them. Well, if the lottery will allow me to get them. But that's something I discovered.
Do you ever win those?
I have. Like, I got the Off-White Jones, the Jordan 5s that just came out. I was able to get those.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've won them. Yeah, so yeah.
I don't. Okay, that's good. That's good.
One fly thing. Missy and Aaliyah did a remake of Lisa Stanfield's song "Been Around the World," and so I discovered that this week. It was leaked, so they never released it. So I discovered that. I'm a huge Aaliyah fan, all my life.
Wow. Okay, that's what's up.
You ain't gonna. It's fine if you don't. You'll know next time.
Yeah, I'm trying. What have I discovered this week?
Oh, you discover hats and stuff?
I did brimless Docker hats.
There you go.
I bought 5 yesterday.
Yes.
I've been
From where?
shopping.
Go ahead and shout them out.
No, not until we get
sponsorship.
Yeah, we ain't
All
giving
right.
nobody shout outs. But that's about to be my new twist.
Okay.
That's good. I discovered
Those are really cute on you.
So
you gonna wear one here? You should wear one next
yeah.
episode.
Yeah, I am going to be rocking them. I have a lot of accessories. I just recently cut my hair, and it's just a lot going on. We'll get into that in other podcasts. But yeah, brimless Docker hats I have discovered. One thing I have been getting into lately too is learning fallacies.
Okay.
Different fallacy arguments.
I have a book for you for that.
Oh yeah, please get. You're a good book recommender too. Now she's only recommended me one book so far, but the book is amazing. I've been reading it. Called The Prodigal God. That book is like
The Prodigal Son.
No,
It's The Prodigal God. Oh yeah.
It's about the Prodigal Son.
Tim Keller.
Yes. You gave me that a couple weeks ago, and it has really just been like blessing me.
Amen.
And discovering the uniqueness of following Christ in just ways I didn't see before. So
I got something for you. It might jack you up. Cause it's my friend recommended it to me, and I started digging into it this morning. I was like, I'm not crazy, but anyway.
Yeah, and her book collection
It's not that deep. It's
ridiculous.
All right. It's all right.
She has like a whole wall this
You
size
act like the
with
room
books
is this
when
big.
you walk.
The room ain't even this big.
Listen, she has a lot of books. I'm not going to say. I'm learning not to say I'm not this and I'm not that.
That's good.
Reading has not been something that
Reading
has
is
been my
fundamental.
favorite. Yeah, but as you get older, you learn.
You gotta
so I
read.
have been reading a lot more and getting into books and stuff like that. So Christine is definitely a good book
I'm just a
recommender.
geek.
So
I'm a really cool geek. That's all.
if she recommends a book, it's probably
Most people don't
good.
read them now. I be trying to help people. Anyway, so where can people reach us at? Gang.
You can reach us on Instagram, this podcast at @AlottaHats_.
We just gonna put it right there.
Yes, _. And then individually, you can find me at A Brilliant Dummy on Instagram. Twitter, they're all the same. A Brilliant Dummy, spelled out, nothing fancy. That's where you can.
Kind of jealous of your name. I really wish I had pseudo names, and the Lord was like, "You Christina Faith." You can reach me online, Christina Faith, all that place and stuff. That's about it. See you guys next time. Thank you for coming to A Lot of Hats podcast. Gang. Let me make the next one shorter.
Yeah. was good.
That was good.